back to Raised to Obey. I'm Yvonne.
Hi, Jennifer here. We're back.
Yeah.
We're finally reunited, girl.
Exactly. I feel like it's been forever.
Well, it was just last week when I.
Yeah, you came to see me in the hospital,
yeah.
but it wasn't the same.
No, it wasn't. The visit you in the hospital. It's not the same as recording this podcast.
Exactly.
And crying and stuff.
Exactly. Right.
But we had a good I think we had good conversations in the hospital.
Definitely.
We always
have good conversations.
Yes, I'm saying when we get together, we just start. When I walked in the door, you started going, oh look, blah 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 blah.
Exactly.
And I'm like, wow, it just we didn't. What did you say saying in English? We didn't skip a beat there.
No, we don't skip a beat.
We just started right into it.
Exactly.
Awesome though. I always say to Yvonne, we could talk for hours.
For hours.
I'm here six times, 6 hours sometimes.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel that long.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
I know, it's only been a couple of hours.
I'm like, dude, I just got here half an hour ago. I'm like, no, it's been. Uva's like, yeah, no, it's been 6 hours.
No.
No, what did he say before? When I left that one time?
I was like, why didn't you just sleep here?
Yeah. Was that Jennifer? And you said, yeah. And he's like, yeah, why did she leave?
Why did you just sleep here?
You guys have the guest bedroom.
Exactly.
That bed looks so comfy. I probably never want to.
It is. Yesterday, Uber was doing something and he was showing me how to use a camera, and I was actually laying down on the bed. I was like, this bed is really comfortable. So it's comfortable, definitely.
Okay, so Yvonne had listened. We actually kind of go back and listen to the episodes of our podcasts.
Right. I mean, it's not vain. I mostly listen because since we're new to doing podcasts, I like to listen and make sure that the tone is okay, that there's not a lot of background noise, even though we do have a pretty good setup. We're podcasters on a budget right now, but it's still a good setup, I think. So I like to go back and listen just to make sure, like I said, the tone quality is okay. And in listening to the podcast, it always prompts questions, especially like the last podcast that you heard, or actually it'll be the podcast before last, was episode 5. Jennifer did most of the talking, and so in listening, it prompted a lot of thoughts that I had, like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So I was like, let me start writing this down. And so when Jennifer came over today, I was like, let's kind of do a recap, if you will, a little bit of filling in the blanks. Just, yeah, to fill in the blanks. There you go. So,
so one of the things you have here written down is that you also saw a therapist. You did, I think you touched on that a little bit in one of the episodes, right?
I touched on seeing a therapist as an adult. I saw a therapist as a teenager, and I didn't even think about it until you mentioned seeing a therapist as a teenager. And so the deal was, after the incident with the older guy that my parents got in my bedroom, my mom made me go see a therapist, and his name was Andy. And the only thing that I remember from these sessions, I don't even remember how often I went. I don't remember it being often, but I remember one of the sessions where Andy was sitting across from me, and he was talking to me about having been with this older guy, at the time he was 4 years older than me. And he asked me if I thought I could handle him. And my answer was, well, obviously I did. That's the only thing that I remember from that. So it's like, oh, I need to write that down, because that just shows you how
what did you mean by handling him as an older person
sexually?
That's what I meant.
Right?
Does he mean sexually?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you were I already did.
I was like, well, obviously I did. What's the point of this conversation now? And I don't remember. That's I just remember this snippet of him. And so when you mentioned going to therapy, being, this rebellious age, I was like, oh my God. I did the same thing. And it just, I mean, my answer in my memory, my snippet, just goes to show you how rebellious I was at this stage, where like a therapist was trying to, um, I assume, help me out, maybe. And my answers were always like really snippy and really, like, fuck you, you know what I mean? Yeah, so.
I was, when I had to go see my therapist, like, I don't remember also, like, and this is even before we moved back to Iowa, or, because Iowa doesn't have any drugs either, right?
Right. Yeah, it's like Falfurrias.
And, also being the same with the therapist. Like, I ain't fucking talking to you.
Right.
I ain't telling you shit.
Right.
I was so adamant about not talking to this person. I didn't. I was like, I just remember going to, for my younger daughter. I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a therapist, because I was just, if I feel like if my mom would have done that, I think I would have been more understood. Instead of, I wanted to go with her to a therapist because I wanted to understand my daughter.
Okay.
That's why I went with her. That's why I wanted to go to a therapist. I was like, I want to understand my daughter. Why is she being like this? There's a reason for when kids rebel. There's a reason for when kids lash out. It's
right. Something triggers it.
And I wanted to know why. What's going on with my daughter? And it, like, I didn't want to send her a therapist. Like, there's something wrong with you. Go to a therapist. Like, that's how I felt.
Right.
There's something wrong with you. Go to a therapist. You need to figure that out. Like, where are you in all this?
Right.
Because I'm only, 13, 14 years old. Where the fuck are you?
Right.
They have to do all this.
Yeah, I think in our generation, oftentimes the parents took themselves out of the equation because, I don't know why. I don't know if it was too much to deal with, or they were just like too concerned with other things, work, religion, whatever. I don't know. Or maybe it was just the easier way out. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, of course. It was like you deal with your own shit. I mean, of course, when you're a parent, you have. I mean, looking back now, my mom had her own shit, and my dad had their own shit to deal with. But like I went with my daughter, my youngest daughter, to a therapist, and wanted to get to know her better. Like,
right.
Because of going through all of this shit, it's like becoming more aware of things, and like people are like, yeah, but I didn't ask to be here. You didn't. My child didn't ask to be here.
Right.
I wanted to have a child with my ex-husband, and we produced 2 children.
Right.
And it's like I felt like you get my parent, okay, you're here now, deal with your own shit, know.
Right.
And like, I would just wanted to know why she was lashing out. She's so mean. My youngest daughter is so mean. And maybe she might not look like me, because some people have a mini me.
Right.
I don't.
Right.
I mean, they're both of them are my daughter, but there's this like have certain traits from me and from their father. So anyway, but personality wise, she's me. She's me, and I said, instead of being my mom, I want to go with her to therapy because I want to know why she's lashing out.
Right.
I found out, and because I know when she started acting out and doing this, I know what she needed, and I know what she needed from me.
Right.
And when I started giving her that, everything was fine.
Okay, that's cool.
That's really cool. She acts out in the same way that I acted out in school, and I tried to tell my mom this. My dad understood this way more than my mom, is because I didn't. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know that in English, in German. I don't know the word anymore.
Tell me in German.
I don't even know it in German.
You don't know it in German either. I don't know. Well, I got a couple languages you could choose from, but
say it
in
Spanish.
Yeah, no. Exactly. Say it in Turkish.
I felt oh my my gosh, why does
overwhelmed? Inadequate?
No. Damn it. When the word will come to me later, but yeah.
Yeah, she'll WhatsApp me tonight before she goes to bed. No, I'm just kidding.
But the same way that my daughter was acting out, because she felt the word's gone. Sorry, guys. All here on the podcast. Maybe I'll think about it in the podcast when we are talking later.
It'll come to you.
Yeah. So when it does, I'll say it. But the more I try to think about it, the less it comes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those things that really, like, if I keep thinking about it, it won't. But then you're just laying in bed at night and you wake up and you're like, "Fuck, that's it is."
Yeah, you know? You'd be like, "Oh, that's what the word I was looking for." That's like last night. Here. I'm going to go off on a tangent. So we had finished dinner, and my husband took everything into the kitchen, and I was like, "Oh, there's food left in the pan. You just put it in the glass bowl." And he was like, "The glass bowl?" And I mean, we're speaking German, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking the porcelain bowls that we have, they're glass. Okay, I know it's like glass, it's porcelain. I was like, the black ones, because our dishes are black, right? And he was like, "That's not glass." I was like, "The one that's made out of fucking tone, whatever you want, what do you want? It's a black bowl, man. Just put the food in there. Put it in the fridge." I had the word on the tip of my tongue,
Yeah.
But I couldn't think of, put it in a porcelain bowl, And so the other thing I could think of was glass, And the brace like glass, right? So that was like my logic, but yeah. So that's why I say I know what you mean. Like it's like on the tip of the tongue, and the more I tried to explain it to him, the farther and farther away the word got.
Yeah.
And the more and more frustrated I got, Yeah. So anyway, sorry.
But later came to I went to a therapist 2 times with my youngest daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time we went there, one of the reasons why she was acting out, because it came to find out that she wanted more attention from me.
Mm-hmm.
And this reminds me of also of my childhood and how I was rebellious, but because I didn't get this attention from my mom that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And even negative attention is attention.
Exactly. I was just going to say that.
Even so if it's positive or negative, doesn't matter. You're getting
it's
attention.
Still attention. Exactly.
Of course, you wouldn't have a positive attention, but because I wasn't getting that, I was going to rebel. I was going to do any and everything to get attention. It's negative. I don't care.
Right.
So that's what my daughter was doing too. And because I went to a therapist with my daughter to learn more about my daughter or why she's doing this, when she started acting like that, I was able to be like, oh, she needs attention from me. And it didn't matter what I was doing. I dropped everything and I was like, "Hey, you want to play a game? Come, let's play Barbies." I mean, this was when she was really little, like 6, 7, 8.
Right.
And I'd play with something with her. Whatever she liked to play. It was always hard to play with her though, because she was like, "No, you have to do it this way. No, you have to do it this way. No, you can't say that." And I'm like, "I don't want to play with you if you're going to tell me how to play." I'm like, "Is this how you play with your friends? Like, tell them all the time, like, how they have to, like, the Barbies can't say that." And I'm like, "What? Barbies can't be like, 'Hey, girl, what's up? What are you doing? You want to go?" Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, "Barbies don't act like that." And I'm like, "Okay, but yeah, I mean." I spent time with her then, and it was like a different person, a different kid,
Right.
And she wasn't, I don't know why, or maybe kids don't know, or she wasn't able to come out and be like, I want time, I want to spend time with you.
Right.
I don't know if she didn't know how, or that was her way of saying, "I want to spend time with you, let me act out."
Right.
And she was just really bad about, she says any. She gets under the belt with words. Like, of course it was in German, like, "You fat cow," and like she would really say things that I was like, "Girl, if I said that to my mom, I wouldn't even be alive today."
I was gonna say, if my son said something not like that, he would have at least gotten a gift smack on the back of the head.
Well, after we went to therapy, and I knew, and that's why she said that. Like the therapist was like, "Okay, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be upset, but we need to find different words for you to use because you can't be disrespecting me like that, or your sister, or other people. So it's okay to use like, you stupid head, or something, just like something that if they said it, you understand. Okay, she wants to say something way worse, but if she says bark bucket, something like that, you know what I mean? But I was like, yeah, we're calling each other in this house fat cow or something like that, you know. That's not nice anyway. But yeah, that's like something that I wanted to do with my daughter. My oldest daughter, I did it. Rihanna, if you're listening, she listens to my podcast. She's the sweetest. She was like, do you want me to listen? Tell me if you don't want me to listen to like a certain one. I'm like, I put it out there and they listen. So she's the sweetest. She's like, you're the best mom in the world. Like, you don't have to be, because sometimes in a couple other podcasts I was like, yeah, you always wonder if you could have done things differently, or if you were like a good mother, because I divorced her dad and we lived alone, and I was overwhelmed a lot of times, and I know that without doing it purposely, it took some of that out on her because she was like the oldest, Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So I wanted to do therapy different, and I don't think it's a bad thing for somebody to say I have to go see a therapist to get things out. And yeah, I just wanted to. I still want to know. I mean, I still think that I don't know why my youngest daughter, dealt, I think, with me divorcing her dad different than my oldest daughter. I just think that's a lot to do with that, to deal with that. But we both live alone together. That doesn't sound right. Like she's
your daughter lives with you.
Yeah, but we live together under the same roof, and we have to get along. And sometimes we don't. I take her to school every morning, and do you know what's said in the car? Not one word.
Okay.
We both drive in silence, and it's okay. Nobody feels the need to break that silence, because it's perfectly okay to sit in silence with somebody and not say anything.
Yeah.
And we're both chilling, and she gets out of the car and she goes, okay, bye, love you. Then now we say, okay, love you, have a nice day, bye bye. And that's it. Like, sometimes I'm like, she just be like, don't talk to me, I don't want to. She's exactly like me. I don't need it when I get up in the morning. I'm like, we just might do a head nod. I just don't want to talk. I need my coffee. I need to wake up. I need to do my own thing before, And some people are just, they wake up and they're like, la, 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 they're chipper or whatever. And I'm like, good for you. You are chill. You're cool, but please leave me alone for like the first, I don't know, till I have my cup of coffee.
Yeah, let me at least get one cup of coffee. I hear you.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Something that Yvonne said that she did. You're all like, what?
What did I do? I do a lot of things.
She where's it here? This girl.
Oh yeah, I finally found my inner child.
One of the podcasts where that was the 2 podcasts ago. The 5th one. This would be the 7th right now. Where she was asking me at the beginning about a little bit about the inner child. Wasn't it after that you?
Yeah, it was. This was actually, because this was before my surgery. So I asked Jennifer about like how she found her inner child, or like what she did with her inner child, or she said, if you'll recall, like there are times when her inner child comes out and just needs like attention. So I was asking, like how she made herself known, and I've made jokes up until now about I don't think I have an inner child. Yeah, I'll never find mine. So anyway, a couple weeks ago, it was actually before I had surgery. And for those of you watching at home, when we get this video posted on YouTube, which we're going to do this time, this is a take 3 attempt. If you see me laying around, that's why, because that's spinal surgery. But anyway, so I was actually just doing some meditating. I hadn't done any like intention for the meditation, because sometimes I'll do like an intention and what I want to meditate on. And this time I didn't. I had just, lit a candle. I had some handpan music going in the background because I really like that when I meditate. It it helps me focus, because I think it's like my brain, it's like white noise. So you can focus on what I want to meditate on. You know what I mean? Because if there's like no noise at all, my brain will be like, was that the trash truck? Was that a neighbor? Was that the wind? Was that, like the you know? So if I have this handpan music going in the background, I can stay focused, I've even tried like staring at the candle. Did it flicker? Is it moving? Is it melting? No, my brain just like, there's like, like 1,000 like pop-up bubbles above my head. So the handpan keeps me focused. So I was doing my handpan and just, I was sitting on the edge of my bed because I couldn't sit on the floor and cross my legs. And I just closed my eyes, and my intention was just to meditate. And I told you earlier before we started this podcast, I've gotten into the habit of when I meditate, I always have some paper and pen next to me, because there have been times when I've meditated and something will pop into my head, and by the time I blew the candle out, it was gone. And it's not like earth shattering thoughts or anything. It's my thoughts, right? And so I like to write them down. Um, and so this was a case here. I mean, like I said, there was no intention. So they're just meditating, and the thought popped into my head: if I could talk to my younger self, what would I say? And that's when these thoughts came into my head. So I actually stopped my meditation and started just writing. And, these are, what did I write? Like a half a page. What I would have said to myself. I don't feel the need to embrace my inner child. I don't feel the need to wrap my arms around her. I did write down that I wish that I could undo the damage that was done to her, but I can't. The only thing that I can do is hold her hand and what did I write down? I would tell her that I want her to know that it's going to be okay and that she'll get through it. I got through it. I'm still getting through it, right? And even though I can't undo the damage, everything that happens up until this point of my life now is just going to make her stronger. I wrote down also that, there are going to be people that are going to try to put out your flame completely. One of them actually almost did. That was my ex. He actually almost completely broke me. Thankfully, there was still enough fire, spirit, whatever you want to call it, left inside me, that he wasn't able to completely break me, and I was able to break free. And that was also a big part of it, was because I had met my soulmate, and he really opened the door, so I was able to break away and get away from this narcissistic person. And so my last lines that I wrote to myself as a child were, this one person would try to break you but wouldn't succeed, and no matter what happens, you'll always come out of the fire like a phoenix out of the ashes. Because I've always been drawn to the phoenix, I just think every picture I see with an animated phoenix, no matter how it is, you know, if it's animated, if it's AI, whatever it is, you know, I've always been drawn to it. Um, and that's what I really feel like, you know, is that I'm I'm still coming out of all of this, you know. But just like a phoenix, you know, it's I rise up out of the ashes, and no matter how often the child abuse, the sexual abuse, what happened as a child comes back to haunt me, um, or comes up again, I look at it now with the knowledge that I'm okay. I'm gonna keep healing because I'm not completely healed yet.
Mm. That's for me. That's something that's actually gonna be till I die. That's a lie. Yeah. It's because there's always gonna be something like even during in the process of this podcast, things coming up that I've noticed that are still there. You know,
right?
And it's just it's never gonna be. It's never ending. I think, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I think other people out there too, you know, mental coaches, therapists, it's just like an ongoing process.
Right.
But I feel like you can heal the bigger part of it, like a big part of it, like me getting in touch with my inner child. That was for me a really big part of it.
Yeah.
And knowing that even when something does arise and something comes up, that I can get in touch with my inner child. Mm-hmm. Like those are just like my tools of but after talking about on the podcast, on the fifth podcast, ranting about my teenage years, I still haven't gotten in touch with my inner child. Mm-hmm. But like I said, before I used to always have the urge, not the urge, but like the need to do it, because she was, like I said, she just make herself known, and like it's been so long since she's made herself known.
Right.
I got in touch with her when my father passed away.
Right.
Yeah. Because if anybody was sad about that, I'm not gonna say it as an adult. I wasn't sad about my dad passing, but I was a daddy's girl, and she
took it really hard.
Yeah, she still hurts. She's still. I think also when my dad's birthday was the 13th of this month. It was last Friday.
That Friday.
And I think maybe that's one of she was. Yeah, she's still that little girl. Mm-hmm. Like what?
Yeah.
My daddy's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's hard to believe. I gotta get up and walk around the back of the couch. It is hard to believe. I mean, your dad's been gone a year now, right? Mm-hmm. My dad's been gone almost 6 months. So yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. It's for me, sometimes it's just surreal, you know, to think. And I think too, because maybe it's because we live so far away, you know, and I didn't see him all that often. So sometimes it kind of feels like it always did, you know. He's back home in Texas.
Yeah.
You know, and then you realize, no, he's not. You know, but yeah. One thing I wanted to say that popped into my head before I forget it, because you know I'll forget, is being funny.
I was like, what was that noise?
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. It looks like it's still recording. Okay. Anyway, so sorry about that. Since I started working on healing, you know, we talked about, you know, how we started a few years ago. I have since come to realize that, and this might sound funny, but it just shows you how, or what a fucked up trick this plays on your mind. I can't talk anymore. Is that I finally realized that everything that happened was not my fault, and I don't have any need to feel guilty about it. you know. And up until a few years ago, I still somehow had this like deep seated guilt because somehow it was my fault, you know. I think it might have a lot to do also with like the church that I was brought up in, you know. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to say that before I forgot about that, you know, is if you're listening and you're a survivor of child sexual abuse like Jennifer and I am, it's really important to know that it wasn't your fault and you have no need to feel guilty about it and no need to feel shame about it, you know.
That's hard. So that was what that's what that was my thing about. I felt shame.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I ever felt it was my fault. I just felt shame about it, like icky about it, like yeah. That's
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for me, the shame was like not talking to anybody about it. You know what I mean? I didn't want to talk to anybody about it, and I'm leaving my therapist because I felt shameful, you know, because of what had happened. You know, like how could I talk about something like this to somebody? You know, it's something you like wouldn't even tell a priest. You know, um, because you feel so shameful about it. You know. And then also again with the thinking that if you did tell a priest or a pastor, my thinking was because of how we were brought up that it wasn't going to be like, oh, we need to go to the police and get this person prosecuted. It was going to be like, what did you do to bring this upon yourself?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's another reason that a lot of people in our generation didn't speak out because we were raised with this mentality of, you know, you brought it upon yourself, or you know, what did you do to bring it upon yourself?
Well,
you know
that's
what I mean.
But that's also not even any. It hasn't even have to be back then. It's still to this day a point of when women gets raped. What were you wearing?
Yeah, exactly.
The fuck does that have anything to do with what the fuck I was wearing? I got raped. I said no, I didn't want it. Doesn't matter what the fuck I was wearing.
Right.
Like women are so sexualized. What did you say? Why were you alone? Why were you this? Why did you do that? You're a victim, and you're getting and you're actually getting like. Why are you asking these questions?
Right.
A fucking police officer.
I know.
Why are you asking these
you
questions?
Feel like you were the one that's being prosecuted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You're the victim, but they're doing as if you're the one who made the crime.
Right.
Like.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So I don't even think that has any. I mean, it's still a little bit like having to do like what you said, but still, it's still a thing this day and age. Yeah. To when something happens, like what you do. Right. Huh? What?
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's a. I thought for a long time that we were over that. And then we started having this influx of people from other countries coming over here with different religious beliefs, and then it started all over again. You know, don't be walking around in skimpy clothes, and you know, because it's not part of their culture or whatever. You know, I'm like, if I want to rock around in shorts and a spaghetti top, I will. You know, like you know. I'm not walking around naked.
Well, why?
You know what I mean?
But the whole thing is why are we teaching women not to walk around in skimpy clothes? Why can't we teach men not to sexualize women?
That's exactly.
Why can't we teach men that it's not okay to sexualize? Like, why are we? Why should I have to teach my daughter? Which I also felt like I was doing too when she would want to wear crop tops. I mean, of course, at 10 years old, I'm like, hey, but you know, still, again, I'm like.
Right.
That mentality of like, yeah, but you're 10, why should you be walking around like that? Were you showing your belly? The only thing she was showing was her belly.
Right.
And my thought was, yeah, because...
Yeah, I think it's because we get into like this protective role, you know?
Yeah, because I know how men are. It's not that. It's just like, it's because we are not teaching men not to sexualize women, or we're not teaching men things that they shouldn't be doing. You know what I mean? From a younger age, we're teaching women not to do things that is like don't do that because you might trigger a man.
Right.
Well, don't say that. Well, don't wear that. Well, if you do that, then you might get raped.
Right.
Instead of teaching men that we shouldn't, it doesn't matter what a woman's wearing.
Yeah, no, I agree.
We shouldn't be sexualizing them in any type of manner or way or whatever.
Right, right.
And that's why these cultures that also make women pretty much cover themselves up and the only thing you can see is their eyes is because men can't control their thoughts.
Right.
Men can't control their fucking penises. So we have to cover up.
Right.
The women have to cover up because men can't control their fucking stupid ass motherfucking shit.
Right.
Sorry, I went on a tangent on that one.
They can walk around how they want, yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah, those men can go into wherever the fuck, whatever it's called, a sweat house, a sauna, and be naked and watch other women walk around naked. But their wife can't go and do that.
Right.
I mean, they can, but not in a mix, not in a mix with women.
Right, right.
And that's like, really? How fucking one-sided, one-sided.
Yeah, one-sided. Yeah.
Freaking is that then? You know what I mean? I'm just saying that what I see, because we live in Germany, and there are. I'm not saying there aren't Muslims in America, but there are Muslims here in Germany, and I don't have anything against religion. This is not about that. This is about that. If there are some men out there who are like, yeah, well, you have to stay home, you have to do this, you can't go out. But these men are going out and sexualizing women. They're going to a sauna and gawking,
scaring.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like that's okay. We can like also like a stepping stone to get into like other things that are on this list about like well, because I know we said like when I got here, me and Yvonne were talking. I said, "Girl, we need to press record." We were talking about religion,
right?
Like weren't we?
Yeah, we were.
Like growing up in. She grew up in an what was it? Protestant?
No, it was a non-denominational church.
But just what wasn't the thing on here? What was saying like where did it say being spiritual? Like finding out our spirituality. And like when did we like looking and then we were both looking back thinking, okay, I've always been spiritual,
right?
And you went to Alf. Oh my gosh, you went to other like churches too,
right?
Because I was raised Catholic, and it was I can't even remember what that was. One was called where you said, so these people, like the nicest people in the whole world, I swear on my life. And then the music started, and I swear to God, we were like, I felt like, what do these people drink? Because they'd start shaking, and then talking in tongue. Dude, these people would get on the floor, and I'm just like, what the fuck's going on?
I know. I'm like, are they having a epileptic shock or a seizure, or what's going on, man?
And I was like, yeah, okay, no, this isn't for me either. Right. And this church lasted like a good 3 hours too.
Yeah, they were.
We must have been. Were we at the same one? Oh my God. And then like I had another a friend at the time. She was a different religion, and I went to that. So like, I guess the point of it's a saying like I tried to do different religions because I just didn't feel like the Catholic religion is that where I felt where I belonged. And then finally, like 3 years ago, and I feel like this has been so in the making, you know what I mean? It's been like so long of finally realizing and finally finding that I'm, if that's what you want to call it, a witch.
Yeah, as I say, just say you're a witch, man. Just put it out there.
Now we say to Yvonne, well, I'm gonna go do my witchy shit.
I'm gonna do my witchy shit, man.
I have my altar with my candle and my crystals and part of some Facebook groups where since 3 years ago of getting into this, where I actually felt belonged, where I felt heard, where you said also like always having an intuition or a gut, a feeling,
right?
And sometimes not following it and wishing you did before, you know, of being maybe in a relationship with somebody. But I also say, and I also hear a lot, is like you're always on the right path. and anything that's ever happened in your life, and I know it sounds stupid, like why were we sexually assaulted or sexually abused in our childhood, um, but if if we wouldn't have, maybe we wouldn't be here today. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
I believe like everything that happens to us in life.
So it does happen to us, so we are here now, so we can help other people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because
yeah. I mean, everything that happens to us in life shapes our personalities and our characters. Yeah. Maybe we wouldn't have been as rebellious. Maybe we wouldn't be so outspoken. Maybe we wouldn't be good leaders. You know.
Yep. But if I had been in any other way, if I'd gone in any other path, I know that I wouldn't be here today in Germany. I wouldn't have met my ex-husband. I wouldn't have my kids. Because I probably would, if I wouldn't have been rebellious, I would have been like, oh, I like school.
Right.
And maybe I would have been like a lawyer. That always interests me.
Right.
The only thing that didn't is because you have to go to school for a long time and the bar and all this, like, you know, I was like, ugh. But like things like that, I was like, damn. Like, what's it? That's in Germany. It's called like Justice, like jury, like law, like that interests me so much. Like knowing all these laws, you know, like a lawyer and they're in the courtroom and they're like blah blah blah, and I'm like, that's so awesome because they just come out. They're like, call my next witness, and then that witness goes on the stand and they're like, yeah, motherfucker, we just won our case or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that always interests me, but like knowing if I would have like gone to culinary school, like this was before I met my ex, and I had actually signed on and started going, and I probably would never.
You know what I was thinking the other day? Interrupt you, but I was thinking the other day because there was when I was listening to episode 5, and you were talking about how you were going to go to culinary school, right? And you wanted to be like a pastry chef, and I was like, she wanted to be like Max on Two Broke Girls. Max House homemade cupcakes.
Yeah, it would have been Nippers,
Jennifer's homemade cupcakes.
Nippers cakes and more. I don't know.
There you go.
They're like
pastry chef.
Yeah.
Sorry, they should have.
No. But this thing, like, if I had already signed on,
right,
and I would have met him, I probably would have been like, no, I ain't going with you to Germany. I'm here. I have to go to school.
Right.
Yeah. Right. This is how things have played out in my life. Like, but like you asked me, did you always want kids? Yeah, actually, I always wanted kids. I was super happy when I had my first daughter. Like she wasn't planned, and like I was like, oh, I'm pregnant, and I know at the time, me and my ex, we were so excited to become parents.
Yeah,
like it was like it was such an exciting time. Like. And I'm super happy I had my kids young. I'd say. I mean, I was 25 with my first daughter and 31 with the second. I was like, now I'm in my late 40s, and you know, I have like, and I always say to anybody, I mean, okay, 16, 17, 18, 19, I don't know, it's a little young, but whatever, you know, if it happens. But like, it's always like. I'm not saying there's ever a right or wrong age to have a kid. You know what I mean? It's whenever you feel like you want to. Some women or some, you know, parents want to first, you know, work and make some money and have some good savings and buy a house and then have kids. You know?
Yeah.
And we were like, no, yeah, we're young, we're 25, let's do this. And some people, you know, it's just how the fuck you want to do it.
Right.
I don't think there's ever a right or wrong age to have a kid. There's someone out there who have a kid with 50 because they've been trying for years and years and years, and they finally get pregnant. You know, what's called the rainbow kid? No, yeah, something like that.
I have no idea.
And they're like, yeah, you know, but they've been trying for years, and they have their first kid at 50. And there's people out there like, can't believe you're having a kid at 50. Bitch, you don't know how long I've been trying to have a kid. You don't know anything about my life to go and judge me to say I can't believe you're having a kid at 50.
Right.
You know, like that's crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
Or would I don't know. There was like always people out there who's gonna tell you like something like their opinions matter more than yours.
Yeah. There's always somebody that knows better. That's done it all. That theirs is bigger, longer, faster, more expensive.
So yeah, that's also like I don't know. Growing up in I mean, in comparison to maybe your mom being strict, my mom was strict, but it would like that. I feel like it wasn't like as strict as your mom was.
Mm.
But for me, that was strict. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was like, but like.
Well, I mean, part of my mom's strictness came from my dad's religion.
Yeah.
Right, because my mom was raised Catholic, and she then converted to my dad's church. Mm-hmm. I think she said she was pregnant with me when they converted. Mm-hmm. So they actually we have so next to our house on the ranch with a big pond, or we used to have a big irrigation pond, and they actually got baptized in that pond. Anyway, if that didn't tell you it's a cult, anyway. So my mom was raised with these strict Catholic values, right? And then comes this church where it was even stricter. Like I told you, we couldn't celebrate holidays, birthdays, no makeup, no, So, and then came also the problem with, you weren't supposed to interracial marry, so like we couldn't like date anybody, and dating in the church wasn't really allowed anyway. So, yeah, there was just always she wasn't only strict, but she was strict and always preaching the higher the hellfire and brimstone, what the church always was preaching. Like if you're a sinner and you're gonna go to hell, and so I think that's just like the reason that my mom was like stricter than yours. You know what I mean? It was a Catholic upbringing with and then this cult religion on top with the hellfire and brimstone.
So one of there was it hit me so hard. It was like poof. I read this thing. Tell me if it's on Instagram, TikTok, somewhere, and it was like a post, and it said, "We feel the need. Like, do you feel the need as an adult before you say I can do anything? Like, I have to clean this. I have to do this." It was most of basically like in order for you to even be able to sit down to relax or do something nice for yourself, you have to get this, this, and this done first.
Right.
And they were like, that stems from when you were a kid. If your parents were like, you can't go out on site and play until you clean your room.
Right.
You can't go outside and you play until you do your chores. And that was so engraved. Like you can't go out and do something fun until you do something like you don't want to do.
And you have to earn your.
Pretty much. Like you have to, like as an adult, you feel like you have to earn a right to sit down and take a break. Have you ever sat down and been like, oh, I deserve a break now because I cleaned the bathroom, vacuumed, and mopped the floor? Like, and like you're feeling like you deserve a break.
Right.
And why do you have to earn a break? Like why are you trying to earn something that you can? If you feel like you need to sit down and take a break, then do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was like, holy fuck, man. Like that hit me because like I'm so like that. I'm super like
I get you.
Right.
I get you. Like the days that I only work part-time, and the days that I don't work and I'm at home, it's rare that I will not do nothing.
Yeah.
Or do something for me. You know what I mean? And the days that I do something for me, like if I go and get a pedicure, the house is spotless before I leave. Because then I've like earned this me time, And my husband says all the time, he's like, oh, it's your day off, enjoy it, put your feet up. And I'll be like, yeah, whatever, dude. I'll be like, sitting there programming the robot to mop and sweep, and I'm dusting and, spot cobwebs. And if I have to do something outside in the garden, I'm out in the garden. And, especially on Thursdays when I don't have a class, I'm like, okay, I need to get all this stuff done by like 1400.
Yeah.
And then, if I have all this stuff done, I've earned some time. I can hop on my motorcycle for a couple of hours. That's like my thinking, and that's so stupid. Yeah. Why?
And if I do happen to not do anything on a particular day because I just don't feel like it, I feel guilty. Like, oh fuck, I didn't do anything today. Like, oh, like, my house falls, you know, the house was fucking.
I think I feel like that here, having to lay down all the time. You know, I'm like, okay, I've been laying down for 15 minutes. I can get up and walk around. When I'm walking around, I'm like looking at everything. You know, oh, I could do this, but no, I can't do it right now because I'm not supposed to lift anything, right? So I'm like making mental notes. You know, I'm like, why? Yesterday, my husband came home and he was like, "Do you need me to do anything, like housework wise?" And I'm like, "Not really. I mean, you know, vacuumed on Monday and, you know, cleaned the bathrooms on the weekend. Not really, you know." And he was like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And he's like, "Cause it's not like you, you know. I know if you're like have time off, you'd be like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to yeah, well, you know."
For me, I felt like that came in from, and I don't know, because of also, I also read, I saw another thing on TikTok the other day that also hit home for me was, I used to, obsessive compulsive disorder, and I've gotten better, but it was really bad, like, even after my, and you know how I said, like, I'm really, picky about my kitchen, and when I helped my mental coach who was working on my inner child, one of the things that she said of a lot of people who are obsessive compulsive disorder or have had something.
Hi everyone, thanks for listening. You may have noticed the last few minutes of this episode are missing video-wise. You can hear them on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Hop on over there and fast forward so you can listen to the last few minutes of our conversation. We were messing around with a new camera, trying to use a different setup because I had to lay down, and obviously the battery pack for this camera was apparently not fully charged. So we were not able to upload the entire or record the entire episode. So this is going to happen on this episode and the next one, episode 8, but we have fixed that problem. So episode 9, it'll be the entire episode on video. Give us a like, follow us, Instagram, TikTok, here on YouTube, and stay tuned every Sunday, 11 a.m. Central European Time. Thanks for listening. Bye.